Now that we understand how to use the mouse, we're now going to look at how we can select certain objects. To do this, I need you to open up a file which is attached to this video. Once downloaded, you can open it from your download folder. It'll be in the files to share folder if you've downloaded the entire folder. The name of the file is Object Selection, so we'll open that. So here we have a series of circles which I've drawn. So I'm going to show you how we can use our mouse to select the objects and different ways in which we can select the objects. So the first is called window selection. So I'll come down to the bottom right hand corner of those circles, click once, and then extend my mouse to the top right, and we'll see we have a blue window. The blue window is our window selection. So I click once, let go, and move my mouse to the top right hand corner. If I click again for the second time, all of my circles will be selected. I'll press Escape to cancel that. So again, I'll come down to the bottom left hand corner, click once to turn on my window selection. And you'll notice when I hover over the circle, it becomes highlighted once it is entirely inside that blue window. So if a small section of that circle comes outside the window, it will not be active. So I'm going to zoom in to show you that. I'm going to use my scroll wheel to zoom in. And when I move my mouse over the circle, you'll see once the entire circle is inside the window, it becomes highlighted. Once it's highlighted, I will then click once. It then becomes selected. So escape, click once, drag my window to the top right, and once the whole circle is inside, it becomes highlighted, and I can then select it by clicking once again on the screen. I'm going to press escape and then zoom back out with my scroll wheel, click and hold in to pan just to center these circles. So next we'll look at another type of selection window. This one is called the crossing selection. So I'll come to the bottom right hand corner this time, click once and go to the top left hand corner. You'll see that the window is now green. So our crossing selection is green. The difference between the blue window and the green window, if I zoom into the bottom right hand corner, all I have to do is touch the circle and it then becomes highlighted. So once it's highlighted, I'll then click and it is now selected. So the blue window, the entire circle has to be inside that window, but for the green crossing window, I simply have to touch the object. So again, blue window, all the circles have to be inside, and the green window I simply have to touch. The next type is called a window polygon. For the window polygon, I'll click once down the bottom left hand corner, which gives me my blue window. Next, I'll type in WP, so WP, and to enter that command into the command line, I'll press the enter. What that does now, it converts that window into a polyline. I'll cover what a polyline is in the upcoming video. What this allows me to do is to just click and place, and again, all those circles must be inside the window in order to be selected. So you can see that the window polygon wants to continue on. As long as I continue to press the left mouse button, I can continue on. So to complete the action, I press enter. Now I've only selected those 3 circles. I'll press escape. We can also do the same for the green window, so the crossing polygon. So come down to the bottom right hand corner, activate the green window. And this time I'll type in CP, enter. Again, it will convert into a polyline, which in turn creates a polygon. And for this one, the window again just has to touch the circle to be active. And enter. So the reason we use these object selection is just to speed up the selection process. Instead of just clicking on each circle, which can take some time, we can use those window selections to speed up the process. And finally, there's one last object selection tool where we'll click and hold on the mouse and we can create what's called a lasso. Again, as it's blue, all the circle has to be inside the lasso, and I let go of the mouse for it to become selected. Same applies for the bottom right hand corner. We get the green window and we can use the lasso that way as well. If there are scenarios, if we can't use those object selection methods and we have to select each one individually, which can take time, there will be times when you've incorrectly selected a circle which you didn't want to select, and instead of having to press escape and doing everything again, what we can do is we can deselect certain objects. The way in which we deselect an object will be hold the shift key, and when I hover over the circle, you'll see there's a negative symbol now attached to the cursor. If I let go of the shift key, the negative symbol disappears. So I'll click and hold the shift key again. You'll see that the negative symbol appears on the cursor. So I'll select, which in turn deselects those objects.